Wow. So we're on. Joseph is joining us this morning. Joseph, how are you?
I'm doing
great.
well.
I saw your reports in the courts.
Yeah.
Great one. Just that the charges were a bit different, but thank you. I was anticipating some Terminator charges. But Charlie, yesterday your birthday was great. Yeah, I was celebrating it till I got to bed.
I didn't even see your celebrations. I had a terrible headache yesterday. I mean,
is it possible to celebrate someone's birthday without a person? What are you doing? What exactly are you doing?
It's paying reverence to a very good woman.
So what did you do? Like you posted somewhere?
I did many other related things. I drank on your behalf, took a bottle of Gouda because of you, and took a pint of Shocker at Monte Carlo.
How would I even know all of that?
No, but it's solidarity. You don't have to be part of it. But I'm doing it all in reverence. Because you know you're a good woman, so celebrating your birthday is good.
I hope you don't begin to run this morning.
Yeah, I've started already. I didn't tell you the things I did. And then it's the birthday of Mr. Kwesi Awatri.
Okay.
Is it Kwesi? The CEO of Talo.
Our chair.
And the group chair of the
Kweku
Awatri.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Kweku Awatri. Very handsome man.
Shall we do the newspapers now? Joseph Akabla is also our court correspondent. He was in court yesterday. The top headline really running through all the newspapers is these three persons who have been charged with arms possession and some other charges thrown at them. Yesterday we talked about Roland, particularly talked about the throws on social media. We will continue with the other things that people have been talking about. So we'll get all the background stories. I'll review the Daily Graphic and the Finder newspaper. I see the Chronicle. How refreshing. So Roland, what are you doing?
Whether we have the permission to show some of the trolling pictures, if it's possible.
Oh, if you've got the pictures, why not?
Oh, Patrick Gomez, our director, can get it for. It's easy. Some of them are quite interesting.
Yesterday,
so we'll show you some of the trolling pictures.
Was actually trending on Twitter.
The cool challenge.
Yes,
the cool challenge. Which one is that?
That's the trolling picture. So people were posting pictures
so
of
we'll get at least 3 or 4 of the.
Okay. So Patrick Gomez, kindly look for cool challenge.
The cool challenge on Twitter. Is where you find them.
And please let's get some of those pictures. Let's see them. They're quite interesting.
All right, let's start this off with the Daily Graphic newspaper. Front page of the Graphic: trial of 3 for arms possession, accused remanded, but McPalm shouts it's a plot as he leaves courts. Joseph, what's this one about?
Yes, it was right after when they were exiting the courtroom when he saw journalists filming him. He kept shouting that I've done no wrong, I've done no wrong, I've done no wrong. You can't film me. It's a plot. I'm being framed. Yes, those were his words as he exited. And
so he wasn't preventing anybody from.
No,
because you'd see that people are covering their
faces.
No,
he was lifting. In fact, with his handcuff down, he lifted it up. Said, "You should film me. I've done no wrong."
Well, the story says that it's all a plot. Dr. Frederick Yao McPalm, the medical practitioner who has been charged with 2 others for illegal possession of arms, shouted on top of his voice at the prisons of the Kanishi District Court yesterday. While handcuffed and being escorted into a waiting pickup vehicle by security personnel, he turned briefly to his son, whom he addressed as Junior, and screamed out the 5-word statement. The medical doctor was remanded in the custody of the Bureau of National Investigations with the 2 others by the courts. Also on the front page, President addresses UN General Assembly today. You can do better to address arms proliferation, experts tell security agencies. And no new banking applications yet, according to the Bank of Ghana. That story is on page 16. It says the Bank of Ghana has stated that it is not processing any application for a fresh banking license to new entrants into the banking sector. The governor, Dr. Ernest Addison, stated this. He said he was content that the banking sector reforms that cut the number of banks from 33 to 23 had made the banking sector more resilient to shocks. There's more in this Daily Graphic reports in the paper. Let's check out what's in the center spread. FAO, that's the Food and Agriculture Organization, launches projects on malnutrition, targets women and vulnerable groups. Second medical drone center established is also another story in the center spread of the Daily Graphic newspaper. On the back page, polio vaccination in Upper East starts today. Suspected scabies victims undergoing treatment is also another story on the back page of the paper. The Finder, front page, 3 caged, 2 weeks. And I've had issues. Have I really had issues? We're talking, Roland, about the use of caged. Because that's not what the court said.
Yeah, you have issues.
That's not what.
But
I don't know if I have issues.
This one is journalism language.
Yeah, and I'm saying that when we say we report what happens, right? So what happened? What did the judge say?
Yeah, but you know.
Just what did the judge say?
The judge said they've been remanded for 2 weeks.
Not caged.
Yes.
Well, if you look at the history of media and journalism, we've had a period of sensational journalism that they call the tabloid era and yellow journalism. And subsequently, some of these words or phrases tend to attract the eyeballs. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all.
I'm not saying there's something wrong. It was just, I think I have read it a lot of times, but I just probably paid attention more to it this morning because I saw, and when we go through the newspapers, apart from the Daily Graphic, I think, which used remanded, you would see the other
and can I
interesting
volunteer? I think that's just like indigestion. They just don't sit well with you. Kind of don't, you're not
Are
part
you
of
in
your
my
legs.
stomach?
You're not part of your legs.
Let's go back to the front page of the Finder. So 3 caged, 2 weeks over arms possession and alleged destabilization plots. Also charges to be amended at superior courts. NPP Youth Wing urges tertiary students to join TESCON. Germany and UK deport 22 Ghanaians. And in about a week, we've had is it Saudi Arabia? One of the desert countries.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia having its...
this is Germany, but we've had 2 other countries, I think.
Okay, so where we have our people being deported from?
Being brought back home. And the US
I saw a statement related to Germany. I saw a statement related to Germany.
Germany was yesterday.
Saudi Arabia too.
There was Saudi Arabia, and there's a 3rd country that come.
For which we had deportees?
Yes. Yeah. For some, so this Germany one is mainly related to immigration offenses, right? But in the previous ones, we've had some criminal allegations as well. Because some of the people had committed certain crimes. South Dari residents appeal to government to fix roads is another headline on the front page of the Finder newspaper. All right, that's it for me. For the Finder, Roland Walker.
Okay.
Akable.
Okay, Akable.
We can start with the Daily Guide for me. The front page says Akufo-Addo receives a Focus Award and Alajo bomb dock caged. Video shows suspects parking explosives. Details of that story on page 3. Rousing welcome for Tumfor and 4 Volta DCEs fired. The center spread of the Daily Guide has a story about Miss Ghana will remain focused no matter what. And Jospon protest Akwetia GCDGL takeover. And Ghana gets quality, that's Cocoa quality accreditations also at the center spread. But there's this story about I'm still a virgin. It's from Kofi Mole. He's a musician saying that there. And so the Alajo story, I'm not interested in the center spread one. You know, it has a bit about a video shows suspects parking explosives according to the Daily Guide. The Daily Guide says that there's a video that shows a doctor parking explosives from one location. 3 soldiers, we are told, have also been arrested to assist with investigations. And they spoke to a national security source, and he expressed surprise at what he termed the cacophony being spread by some so-called security experts. And the cartoon for the Daily Guide also has something to do with that story as well. The coup. Okay. Go and have a look at this. What do you think?
Look at the cartoon.
Yeah. This guy looks like one of those stars. You know, in the history of
Shall we show it?
The Israeli war, they used to have one of their best generals called Moshe Dayan, ultimately became the head of defense. And he was very instrumental in the Israelis winning the war against the Arabs. And of course, it was through Syria with Egypt subsequently. And Moshe Dayan used to wear something like this, like the old pirates we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, Moshe Dayan. You can go read about him. Very big guy.
So,
so that's our Moshe Dayan.
Is it part of the troll?
Well, you know, caricatures and things like this are always part of.
All right, the coup. What?
Yeah. I know.
All right, let's review other stories.
Are you done?
Yes, with the Daily Guide.
No.
Do you want to the Ghanaian Observer? Okay. Yes, the Ghanaian Observer still has that story. It says a foiled coup plot, suspected soldiers caged. And so this deals with the civilians and also the angle about the soldiers. Mahama benefited from Doomso financially. That's according to.
This looks like an appropriate headline for Mama V. The foiled.
I'm not judging people's headlines.
Foiled.
That's not what I'm doing.
No, it's the wedding. The composition of the wedding.
But who even used coup, huh?
No.
There's coup in the statement.
Is there?
Yes,
What?
there is.
There's a statement. I think I'll
Okay, so just a minute. I'll just read it to you.
Yeah,
exactly.
you do the paper headline. We'll put the statement. Roll and put the
plots
statement.
against Afenya market backfires also on the front page of the Ghanaian Observer. The center spread says the future is Africa. That's according to President Akufo-Addo, and apologized to Ochehene Ocheman to NDC, and Nana Ama Ampoma sweeps with loyal ladies at Itrima Kwanoma. And so those are the main stories on the Ghanaian Observer. Messi beats Van Dijk to FIFA award also on the back page, and Amanda Clinton slams Nyaho, and Manchester United defend recruitment on the back page of the Ghanaian Observer.
You're done?
Yes, with the Ghanaian Observer.
You have the statement? Okay, let's do the Ghanaian Times next.
The Ghanaian Times says 3 plotters appear in court slapped with 5 charges refused bail. Ghana Cote d'Ivoire sign map showing maritime boundary line, and President receives 2019 Focus Award, and takeover of Akwitia mines. We've invested substantially to revive the mine, is according to the Just Born Group. Some more stories on the Ghanaian Times. The center spread talks about the 3 plotter story, and the President receiving that award, and stop use of car ties for smoking meat. The minister orders.
There's no coup in the state.
Let me show you what I'm talking about.
What makes her? What reverse her mind to that is because elaborate plots targeted at the president.
Joseph Akable.
And destabilize.
We're looking for coup in that statement that the Ministry of Information released because of the use of coup. Roland hasn't found it. You're looking for it. So pass me the rest of your papers. Let me review.
Let's continue with this one.
Yeah, so we're finding it. The word coup in the statement.
Let's do the back page of the Ghanaian Times. Farmers cautioned against use of unapproved agrochemicals. It contaminates cocoa beans, it is said. Also, GMA, the Ghana Maritime Authority, launches Clean Sea campaign.
Okay, so let me read something
on the back page of the Ghanaian Times.
An attribution, his interpretation of a
Are you interpreting, or that's what the statement said?
I'm just reading something.
All right, so that's it for the Ghanaian Times.
I think he's lost the contest.
Akable.
Okay, so
1-0.
Point 6 says, between June and August 2018, BB acting for and on behalf of Dr. Mark Palm contacted a number of 7 military personnel and talked them into hatching and executing a plot to obtain weapons, take over key installations, and secure funding for the purpose of taking over the reins of government.
I'm talking about the use of the word coup in the statement.
Okay,
is there coup in the statement?
The word coup is not in the statement.
Okay, thank you.
But taking over the reins of
I should have put money on this one. You would have lost.
No, I didn't say it was.
Hey, Roland.
No, I think you disagreed.
We need that playback.
I didn't say.
No, you disagreed.
I said.
You supported me.
I did.
Yes.
Charlie.
Let's do the rest of the papers.
No, but you know.
The Gold Street Business, the front page, it says lifeline for SMEs eminent as government prepares to devise framework.
Couldn't have been wrong. All the papers are saying
Roland. Let's do the papers.
Businesses optimistic of economic prospects also on the front page, and GRA targets 3.6 billion revenue in 3 months, and that is some good news. We just hope they're able to meet the targets as they are anticipating. The center spread has a detailed story on Ghana's current economic outlook. If you are interested in the economy and economic matters, you may want to check out this. Fidelity Bank appoints 2 deputy managing directors, and FBN Bank rewards 10 customers in Save and Win promo. And that is it for the Gold Street Business. Mama, we have some interesting stories that you want to talk about.
Yeah, it's just
I have the Chronicle.
So
quickly, front page of the Chronicle. Prosecute Sam George attacker, according to Group. Mahama had resources and should have done better. Gabi. AG orders DCE to pay for damaged vehicle. Attorney General. Germany deports 17 Ghanaians, and coups invariably begin as jokes. Yeah, I know. Misinterpretation of government statements. All right, so we have the publisher. It says coup makers caged. face 5 charges. Okay.
Don't look at me. I'm not the editor of the paper.
Okay, let me see what I'll see. So I only read the ones I see cage. No cage. So we go on. Okay, let me see the dispatch. Okay, so we have the Daily Dispatch newspaper. 2 colonels detained and 6 more being interrogated. It took Nkrumah 6 months to get a wife from Egypt. See page 4 of the Daily Dispatch. We also have battle for Akwetia Diamonds. Just want to sue government as he claims we are being cheated. We became poor when my husband became president of Ghana, former first lady. Okay, some of it. That'll be it.
All right. It's just the backstory of these 3 persons arrested. So, Akable, you were in courts. What were the specific charges?
And so they relate essentially to manufacturing and possession of explosives. I could just read you the specific charge. So 1 is conspiracy to commit crime, that is manufacture of arms and ammunition without lawful authority. There's also conspiracy to commit crime, namely possession of explosives and firearms without lawful authority, manufacture of firearms without lawful authority, manufacture of explosives and ammunition without lawful authority, and finally, possession of explosives and firearms. But there was a bit of controversy in court when the charges were read against these individuals, and it's because the prosecutors had asked that their plea should not be taken. But the lawyers, the defense lawyers led by Kojo Gadawodu, had concerns because they said that as far as they are concerned, their clients have been arrested and put before the court, and so they feel that their charges should be taken. And so the magistrate had to rule on that particular matter. And so you can see in your shots there, the 2 others who are said to be accomplices of Dr.
Who are they? Who are they?
And so just quickly, the first person we have over there, we understand, is a local weapon manufacturer. And so his name is Donya Kafui, and there is also Bright Alandebra Ofusu, who we are told is a freight manager. So that is it for the 3 individuals. And so in terms of the controversy, the magistrate's decision was to the effect that she admitted that some of the charges that have been filed against them were actually charges that were beyond her jurisdiction.
Okay.
And so she said that she again understands the fact that the state prosecutors want to have them remanded so that they can keep them pending investigation, since they are just, in fact, since they arrested them yesterday was the first working day. And so they are not even, the prosecutors said, they are not even started any investigation. So she said that I'm going to give you 2 weeks, but in 2 weeks' time when you come, consider your charges closely and give me a response about your charges. If you fail to do so, then I'm going to give an order, which will obviously affect whether the charges remain or whether they even stay in my court for that matter. And so that was the directive she gave the prosecutors. And
if you look at the front page of a Finder, it's part of the headline, they say charges to be amended at superior courts.
So perhaps that is information they are picking from other sources, but the judge had indicated to the prosecutors, and the prosecutors' response was that they are still investigating the matter. But again, even this morning, the information and the story carried on the 6 a.m. bulletin on radio was that the National Security Operatives have actually indicated that they are still investigating the matter, and if they get to the point where they are ready and have enough to proceed with what the main issues they intend to look at on this particular matter, they're going to do.
Okay, so the bit about the Finder's angle, it says that sources have hinted the Finder that the charge sheet is likely to be amended when the legal vacation is over and the superior courts, which have jurisdiction to handle the case, are open. But there's also some details, says their accomplice, only named as Sule, is currently at large. Prosecution makes case for remanding to BNI custody. Okay,
on Sule being at large, there's a bit of controversy around that too, because Kojo Gadawodu claims that Sule is actually a soldier. He's not at large, he was actually arrested together with the doctor and the others. That's what Kojo Gadawodu alleges.
A serving soldier?
A serving soldier. And so, I mean, we can assume perhaps that they are part of the others that the information minister spoke about, they've been in custody. But then again, you ask the question that if indeed that individual is in custody, why will he be named on a charge sheet as being
somebody at large?
Yes, per your observations with you reporting some of these issues in court or other related issues in court, the Attorney General, and that'll be the state, right?
Yes.
Will always go to court, prefer charges, and it looks like they're still investigating to either amend the charges or prefer new charges. And we're told that for this background, there'd been surveillance for the past 15 months.
Yes.
So it's a normal practice for you to keep investigating while you have them in custody? So
It's a normal practice that has been criticized a lot by some legal practitioners, because they say that you are limiting someone's liberty when you are sometimes not ready to do the real prosecution. And for the crime that we've had put out there, it amounts to treason, and it's the highest offense. And in terms of that, I've sat in one of the cases at the court. It's heard at the High Court. You're supposed to have 3 High Court judges hearing the case. And so 3 High Court judges are removed from their various courts to come and team up to form a panel to hear treason cases. And in all the time, the cases that I've followed relating to treason, it has always been terminated.
I think that was the recent
the voter
Ghana,
secessionist.
yeah, voter,
yes,
yeah.
the voter secessionist. The states terminated that case, entered a
and I remember the Gregory Afoko case.
Yes.
They're still claiming that they are investigating
and even if you recall, there were some individuals who were arrested at Odoko to be possessing grenades. Okay, so that case is a very good example. They were actually taken to the district court in this, just like this one. They were charged relating to firearms and ammunition. Then later on, the case was sent to the High Court proper, and it's currently still on at the High Court.
Okay.
Yes, but the charges have now been moved a bit further, but still relating to the manufacturing, because those charges, some of them cannot even be dealt with at the district courts. Okay.
We've got some pictures of how people are treating this news on social media. We're going to be sharing some with you. Okay, so there you go. You guys have seen this. I haven't. Were these some of the items?
No, these are...
I think I saw this yesterday evening. Oh, should be.
Okay, but whilst we
have this one too.
Whilst we show the pictures, why are people doing
so
this?
There's a mouse trap. We have a mouse trap. We have a locally artisanal pickaxe. What are
the tablets for? Like
tablets.
What is
manufacturing?
It for?
You
people can be so mean.
You dissolve them in liquid, and then you use the Dettol, the syringe. Then you manufacture an IUD related kind.
Okay, but let's just finish off with the fact that there was a case for bail. Where there was definitely a case for bail. What was there?
And the judge said that, I mean, once the plea had not even been an issue they had even dealt with, she didn't even want to look into the bail issue. But then again, she still relies on the reason she had given earlier, that the charges, some of them exceeded jurisdiction, and so she's just exercising caution because she knows that the police investigators also need to do some work. So she hopes that in 2 weeks' time they can give her appropriate responses for the case to progress.
So we go back to the same court in 2 weeks?
Yes, October 9th.
Okay, all right. Joseph, thank you. Thank you for helping us with the papers. We've got sports coming your way. We've got AM Business is brought to us courtesy. EcoBank is the Pan-African bank. We're talking green building today in AM Business. Stay with us. We've got a lot of sports stories to share with you right after this.